Gentlemen, once again, welcome to our training session tonight. This is Monday evening, and we've got interesting stuff lined up for you tonight. So, just to give you a bit of a background of what we're going to do tonight, or what we will be focusing on tonight, is first and foremost, we'll talk a little bit about building your list, and that Renton will do. And then the second part is once again just talking about greet and qualify. Both Renton and Derek will then take us through that. And then lastly, for tonight specifically, we're gonna jump into just recapping chapter 1 of my first year in network marketing, as well as we will also then dive into chapter 2 and see what you guys got from that chapter. So, but for now, Renton, I think both you and Derek will be doing the greet and qualifying, but I'm going to I'm going to open up for both either Derek or yourself just to chat about what it is that you're going to do.
Okay, thanks, Bianca. Yeah, it's me that's going to cover the first part, and then Renton's going to cover the second part. Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this training today. There's a couple of things I want to talk about before we actually go into the main presentations, just things that are going to be beneficial to you and you need to be aware of them, dates and things like that. Now, this picture here is showing at the top with a couple going shopping at the supermarket. What's important to understand about this, and anything that we do in these businesses and the way we train people, etc., is that we've got to treat it a bit like that. Even the books that you read, behave like you're going to the supermarket when you're taking information in. And it's important for you because sometimes you might not be ready to do something like make a call, or you might have a situation where you're just starting and you're just starting to learn. So be like you are in the supermarket. Take away what you need for you. Okay, that's the important lesson here, and we'll be talking about this on a regular basis. We'll be mentioning about the supermarket trolley on a regular basis because you'll have people coming in with different skills, different skill sets, and different types of personalities. So we need to make sure that we cater for everyone. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so what we're going to be talking today. Today we're going to be talking about the brand, our first statement and of our intent. We're going to be talking about Big Al. For all of you who don't know Big Al is, he's somebody I know and have known for a very long time. We're going to be talking about our pipeline, and that's the way we show you step by step what we do. And the first part of that pipeline is actually list building. And we're going to cover it in quite a lot of detail, really, because you need to know how to gather names, how to get lists, how to build that list, because your list is your wealth, really, in this business, in any business, really, even outside this, in the offline businesses, in restaurants, everything. If you don't have a list of potential customers, you don't have a list of already using you customers, then it's very, very difficult to do anything in life. So it's important to have a list, of potential customers and the people that you're working with as well. So the first thing I'm going to go through then is talking about our brand. And the reason why I'm doing this is because over the last week or so, we've been discussing what we are, who we are. And it's come about really that we want to be different from everyone else. And when I say different, I mean really different, because we are really primarily a training company. We are a company that trains people, and we're developing a training system that's going to be second to none. Yes, we're using old material. Yes, we're using material that other people use, but we're picking the best bits to help you become successful. And in doing so, hopefully we'll also help your teammates become successful and the people that join in this business with you. So what we're doing is starting to put together the blueprint of what we will do in the future. So I've actually been testing a different approach as well with people, and it's working very, very well. I've had no negative. I've had lots of positive. even from people who want to keep in touch because they're already in something, but they want to keep in touch because they're intrigued to know how we evolve. Okay, so talking about this brand, the statement of intent, I'm going to read that to you, is about what we are. So look, I've got a website. I've got my email, and it's called Lifestyle with Derek. So currently, I think we're going to use that sort of handle, Lifestyle with, and you put your own name in there or whatever company name you want. So that's the start of it. And here's the statement: it will change and evolve as we evolve. So in 2021, we finally have a company that cares more about its people than itself. A company determined to create a legacy learning platform whose best interest is always the customer. A training company with a step-by-step approach, earn while you learn, no charge ever for our training, only a compulsion to help others succeed and become a true version of themselves through self-development and skills training. A skills-based learning program for successfully building entrepreneurs with a holistic approach to business, allowing us to joint venture with multi-billion-dollar businesses and companies because they have the best compensation plan for the 21st century. So this is going to evolve. It's going to grow and perhaps have added bits to it. But basically, it's saying that we are now going to be going forward as a training company, and that's how we market ourselves. So in doing this, we're actually putting ourselves out and saying, look, we're going to help you build a business. We're going to help you build a network. We're going to help you become successful. And it doesn't really matter what company we're with. In fact, one of the people I was talking to yesterday has already signed up because they like the idea of what we were doing straight away. It's so far removed from everything else. You know, if you talk to 90%, 100% of the people that actually leave companies, it's mostly because they didn't have the right upline, they didn't have the right support structure, they didn't have the training. So what we've got the training first, and then secondly is the company that we market with, the company we joint venture with, the company we do business with. And if we can match the two and have a fantastic training system tied in with a fantastic compensation plan, then really nobody should be left behind. And that's what we intend to do step by step, help every single person in every single situation. So the next person I'm going to talk to you is about Big Al. Okay, I've known Tom for over 15 years, and he's watched me develop over the years, but most of all, he's had a big impact on my networking career. He does love Mexican food, and so whenever we meet up in Birmingham and places like that, Manchester, we always end up going for a Mexican or Chinese. He's author of 40 books on network marketing and teaches brain science, tricks to network marketers, 50 years experience in the network marketing industry. That should be enough, but we will get right to the point with him. What I've done is I've invited him to actually do a training for us this coming Saturday at 4 p.m. UK time, and he's going to impart a lot of knowledge and help us all develop some skill sets that we didn't know existed. He's got some brilliant material. I've actually put links to his website for free stuff on Telegram. I recommend you actually go in there and subscribe to it because you get a daily email, and in each email is new tidbits on how to talk to people, etc. It's a very, very good thing. So I've just taken an excerpt for one of the emails, and this is really good. Okay, so totally free course on closing. How would you like that? Sweat rolls down my face. I'm embarrassed, intimidated. This is not going well. This is you as a prospect, yeah? I mean, as a member of the team. I don't know what to say. I've been in her home for 4 hours. Why doesn't she volunteer to join? This is torture for me. These are some of the things we say to ourselves. She nods, agrees, but never says, okay, I want to join. And I never ask her directly either. Do you want to join or not? Why? Because I'm afraid of rejection. I don't want to look like a sleazy, high-pressure salesman My parents taught me to be polite, and my self-confidence is low. What do? I just keep talking and talking and talking. I hope at some point she will say that she wants to join, but it never happens. I'm sure we both want those 4 hours of our lives back. I hope this story doesn't sound familiar. Thank you for enrolling in this free mini course on closing. If we can't close and get our prospects to say yes, well, we don't have a business. The only thing we ultimately get paid for is to get prospects to join our business or to become customers. Our companies pay us for results. And that's so true. You know, we constantly wondering why we're not doing anything and everything else, and we haven't said the right things. We're sweating. You know, I remember distinctly when I joined this industry, I found it very, very difficult to even lift the phone. You know, to talk to somebody on the end of the phone. I'd come up with excuses. I'd say, oh, maybe they're having their lunch now, Jane, so I'll wait till a bit later. And then when later came, oh, maybe they're watching TV now. Maybe they're watching the news. Maybe I'll ring them a bit later. Oh, Jane, it's a bit late now. Maybe they're going to bed. Let me ring them tomorrow. And this happens so many times, guys. You know, this is not uncommon. This is the way it goes. This is life. So we're going to teach you some little tricks and things through Tom on Saturday on how to actually get around that. Very, very simple things. So this is the pipeline. This is the way we're going to show you the way this business works. So we're going to start with talking about leads and lists, greet and qualify. Those are the first two things. We're covering that again. We covered it last week, but we're covering it again as today's going to be a regular getting started presentation. So Mondays is going to be great getting started, and we'll cover different aspects of leads and types and greet and qualify. And then as we go through the week, we'll be covering invite to type of presentation. What type of presentation, in other words, you're inviting? Are you inviting them to a one-way talk? Are you inviting them to a three-way call? Are you going to send them a video? You know, all the different types of things you can actually send people to. And to separate the invite from the presentation, that's why we got it there. The next bit is follow up and follow through. And then obviously customer or member or whatever you want to call them, but that's the way we want it. And follow up, the next follow up there is in case you've got a situation where somebody actually says, I'll come back to you. You know, I have many cases where somebody's come back to me a month later, 2 months later, and said, you know, that business you're in, are you still doing it, and how's it going? And, you know, I'd like to take another look. Again, because of the way we're doing things with the training and everything being at the forefront, you're going to find it a lot easier for people to come back to you because they're going to be thinking about training, because every company that trains you before you climb the ladder, if you like, in a job, for example, you know, that's exactly what happens. And then future lists and referrals, and how we get referrals from the people maybe who said not at the moment, but, you know, I know somebody who's interested. I've had quite a few of those as well. It's how you ask for them as well. And you notice the shopping trolley there again. Again, remember, you're going shopping, and like anything else, you can only take what you need at this time in your business, okay? So open your mind to the possibilities. This is a big business that is already very successful without you. It's also perfectly poised to capitalize on major trends such as the growth of online businesses and the fact that many people are now keen to gain more control over their own lives. The prospects for further growth are excellent, and you have an experienced team to help you achieve whatever it is you want. And the thing is about experience, guys, you know, we have got a very, very experienced team. We've got guys who've retired out of networking in our team. We've got guys who've built thousands in their organizations. We've got guys who've been through the mill and you know, and are very, very experienced. So, you know, there's a lot of help in our organization to be able to create this training program. Okay, so write a list of people. I'm going to cover this, and then Renton's going to cover it in more detail. The importance of taking time to do this properly cannot be overstated, and this is so important. So if you haven't got a list, start writing one. You can even be starting one while I'm doing this. This business is built out of people who buy the products and people who want to make money by building it themselves. And the simple fact is that the more people who you attract, the more your business grows. The advice here is clear. Make a written list and include everyone you can possibly think of, regardless of their age, well, 18 plus really, race and sex. Mind you, can add the kids as well, because you could say the kids at school who meet with your children, they've got parents. So you can add the kids if you don't know what the parents' names are. So it's a great way of meeting the parents. So regardless of qualifications, regardless of income level, background, intelligence, religion, culture, personality, geographic location, ambition level, ability, sense of humor, hair color, political persuasion, waist measurement, write their names down, even though you haven't spoken to them for years. Don't have their phone numbers or have only met them fleetingly. A guy called Benson, who's just about to go 600 after his first week, is in our team. I recruited him. He came to me, and we out of the blue hadn't spoken for 10 years. Okay, so why everyone? Simply because a long list stacks the odds in your favor. The more names, the more positive responses you are likely to get. Think of it in terms of a lottery. If someone were giving away free tickets, you'd want to get as many as possible. What's more, there are so many different aspects to this business that it's impossible to guess who will be interested in what. But it's fair to say that a large proportion of this is finally a long list gives you confidence, because with so many people to choose from, you're not bothered about how any one individual reacts. When you talk to someone, your confidence is obvious and they automatically think whatever is on offer here, or not offer it here, sounds good because John is so confident about it. A short list has the opposite effect, because you're pinning all your hopes on a few people, and it shows the person you are talking to will be thinking, this doesn't sound good. John is not very confident about it. So your confidence level is a big factor. In whatever the reaction is, positive or negative, the strong confidence comes from a long list. So don't prejudge people. All of us, when we start writing our list, tend to make the mistake of prejudging who will be interested and who won't. But when you start talking to people, you'll be amazed how wrong you can be on it. Often the surprise is positive. You assume someone will only be interested in shopping, only to discover that they want to become a fully fledged business owner. But there is a risk here. If you just talk about the products, and in our case, it's about the trading, rather than showing them the bigger picture, you risk getting a customer when you could have got an active business builder. Even worse, you may not talk to them at all, only to see them go on to build a very big business with someone else. And I've seen that already happen. Who doesn't make the mistake of prejudging them? So categories of people to get you started. And if you've got papers, guys, take it out and a pen and just write some of these down. These headings will act as a memory jogger. Put just 10 names under each heading and you've got a list of 100. This is how easy it is. In reality, you know more people than this, and you're meeting new ones every single day. I had about 15, I think Rent and I both had 15, 20 names a day. And again, we'll be showing you how we do that. But a list of 100 plus will do for starters. So first list, family, not just the immediate relatives, but distant cousins, in-laws, etc. Friends, not just close ones, but even friends of friends and those of years ago, school and college friends, neighbors, past and present. People at work, colleagues, bosses, previous businesses, suppliers, clients, associates, people you meet through your children. I know Renton's like this, but we're both chefs. So when we're in the chef's business, we get a lot of delivery drivers come in. We usually end up giving them a cup of tea and having a cup of chat. So again, I've got people from that list on my list. Parents of their friends, teachers, sports activities, etc. Other groups of activities, people you know through clubs, sports, pub, church, golf clubs, professional tradespeople, solicitors, plumbers, builders, mechanics, postmen, hairdressers, bank cashiers, etc. Yellow pages, go through the categories to jog your memory. Christmas cards, you know, how many people have got Christmas cards that they keep? Have a look through them. Who have you got on them? Wedding lists, your neighbors, numbers in your mobile phone, people on other lists like address books and email addresses and things like that that you've collected over the years. So here's a little tip. Network marketing success is built in 15-minute increments. If you're busy with your life, just carve out 15 minutes to make a phone call. Carve out 15 minutes to show someone the products or the opportunity. This will help you create a daily method of operation that will give you results and income straight away. Don't think of it in big terms, in terms of hours or anything like that. Okay, how to say the right things to the right prospect every time. And we talked about this the other day. So when you've got people in your list, first of all, you know, when you do talk to them, have a sincere facial expression. Put people at ease and the prospect at ease. A good communicator makes you feel like they care and are genuinely interested in you. Communicate easily at the level of the prospect. Avoid jargon. Know what you're talking about. Practice. Tell the truth. No fake earnings. If your intentions are correct, then your actions will be too. Keep everything simple. Story to explain concepts. Always be sensitive by observing people's reactions. We will elaborate on these things, by the way. This is just a quick list to give you an idea of what things you can think about. And also the book that we're reading covers a lot of this. Be aware of the prospect's demeanor. If at someone's home, which we can't do at the moment, but later on, be aware of distractions like the TV, kids, you know, noises outside, all sorts of things. Build rapport before you merge your company with their why, and that's important as well. Meet, learn, get to know the person's need, wants, and don't wants. That's crucial. And if it takes a long time, don't worry about it. In some cases, you might find out the needs, wants, and don't wants, but you haven't actually got to the next step of inviting them to the presentation. But you can leave it there and then get back to them the next day or on a phone call. Okay, find out your prospects' needs, wants, and don't wants. That's really, really important. Ask questions, be relatable, you know, link things to their jobs, you know, and how we do things. Connect, link with their jobs. Find out your prospects' needs, and that's really, really important. Okay, so what did you learn from what we've talked about today? Today you learned about what we're going to be doing with our brand and how that's going to evolve. You learned about Big Al Tom Schreiter and how he is going to have an impact on our business. In fact, I'm talking to his son as well, who's in America. He's actually currently in Thailand, and his son might be able to do something with us as well. They're both very, very good networkers. We talked about the pipeline and how we're going to develop you and show you all the different aspects of things, you know, starting with list building and then greet and qualify. So this is the format really: list build, greet and qualify, follow up and present, and you've got a new member. It all sounds easy, but there's lots of things in between. We expect you to attend all the trainings. Now, one thing we're going to be actually implementing is making sure people, if they're not attending the trainings, at least watch the recordings, because this is really crucial to the way we move forward in this business. Attend the Saturday event as well this week if you can, please. Make your list, and that's also important, and contact, greet and qualify. If you're not sure about any of these, speak to your upline, active upline, and then we'll help you there. So together, everyone achieves more. So what I'd like to do now is pass over to Renton, and I'll just unmute you, Renton, and then you can cover your section. Where we go.
Yep.
Yep.
You can hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's exciting. What you just presented there, Derek. I'm so excited about what you just said. Honestly, that's really good. So I'm just going to kind of reiterate a little bit about what Derek was saying about lists and prejudging, etc. Because We've both been in the industry a very long time. We know the cost it can be. It can cost you a lot of money by prejudging, and I've done it myself. By the way, training is the whole key to success in this industry, because I've got to remind you that I was like Gordon Ramsay the first. I had a terrible attitude when I first saw the network marketing industry. I was introduced by a good friend of mine who obviously didn't prejudge me. Goodness knows why I was on somebody's list. I really don't know why I was on somebody's list, because I just had the worst attitude as a chef. You wouldn't believe it. But you were on somebody's list. And what I'm saying to you is, first of all, I'm going to say what I did, and I prejudged somebody. I was a cricket fan, and a friend of mine who I had him on the list, but he kind of put him onto my chicken list because he's opening batsman for Jersey Island, and I was playing for the island myself. And he was the opening batsman. He was a lager drinker, and you know, all he did was cricket, work, and drink. And I thought he'll never do this, and so I prejudged him. But somebody else didn't, because they didn't know that he was an opening batsman for the island. They didn't know him as a heavy drinker and stuff, but and worked hard. And he was in the finance industry in Jersey. But somebody else didn't prejudge him, and he went on to build a team of 1,000 people. Now that cost me a fortune because I prejudged him, and the person that didn't prejudge him did very well out of that. So don't prejudge, as Derek said just before. So put everybody on the list. I've got to get through this fairly quickly because there's a lot to cover. But what would you do if you saw somebody you know suddenly appear on the list here of participants and see their face there? You'd never forgive yourself. So you've got to spend a couple of hours on this, 2 to 5 hours. Go through your Christmas cards, your phone cards, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your email list, your Golf Pro, your chef, your garage, your gym, your pub landlord. You know, there's never been a better time now than starting a business from home, seriously. And take them off, put them into different categories. So what we do, and Derek does, and I do, is we do an A, B, and a C list, and finally we do a chicken list. All of you have got somebody on your chicken list. I know you have. Somebody that's too successful, somebody that's made a lot of money, somebody who's doing really well in life. And it was only 5 minutes ago I was speaking to somebody who's on the call tonight, actually. So, get in touch with the most successful person you know first, and they're the most open-minded to look at it. So they'll be on chicken list, but go for them first. And then C list will be, oh, they'll never be interested. B list might be interested, and A list definitely will be interested. You'll be surprised that if you've got the definitely wills to do last, how your confidence will grow, because you're doing the C list first, and then your A list comes last, because you know you've still got a great prospect list there. The key thing is, when I see people moving up the levels in any network marketing business, that's because they're managing the list properly and they keep results and they rewrite it. I better put my camera on just a minute, because I've got to show you. I manage my list, and Derek will tell you, I contact lots of people a lot of the time, and you know, I've got my list here, and you can see it all scribbled on, and 2 pages there. And that's from probably the last 5 days, something like that. And I manage it and sent the information. They've maybe not looked at it. Sent the information, no response. Sent the information, not for me at the moment. So I make a note of that at the moment. Then somebody else said in another month maybe. So I make a note. I've got to do that in another month. One that's blatantly not interested. One hasn't responded there. Another one didn't respond. Definitely not for me. And this was an interesting one. He said, yeah, I'm interested in looking at it. Can you send me some information? So I sent him information, got back to him, and I said, what do you like about the video? And he said, I'm not really interested. I said, well, what is it particularly you're looking for? Because we've got a great training system. that you plug into. Like Derek was saying, we're generating a training system for everybody, different network marketing companies. So, and I said, what are you actually looking for? He said, nothing. Well, I couldn't really understand why he even asked me for information. Just looking for nothing. All right, fair enough. But yeah, you know, I just keep going through the list. And what I do is I knock 10 off, get 10 done. Maybe I do more of that some days, maybe a few less, depending on my time schedule. But you will notice that the people that move you up in the levels will put them on, take them off, put them on, take them off. And I'll probably never get through my entire list because it's continuous, and you can make your list continuous. And you will at the end of the day, you need 3 people to get kicked off with. And in the UK, there's 66.5 million people. In the USA, there's 328 million. India, there's 1.3 billion. So really, you can't say I can't find 3. You've got to find 3. Leaders keep building. We keep signing people up, and we keep giving them away to you. And I've signed up a lot of people, and it's about matched effort. You know, if you want to make $5,000 a month, then effort's required. You know, you just got to keep contacting people and keep doing. And subscribe to Derek's YouTube channel, because you know all the information is there. Finally, before I think we're going to go on to the chapter 2, which Derek's going to ask people about in a minute. Chapter 2 of the book that we just read, Your First Year in Network Marketing. And even I've read that today, and it's a great revision for me. But I've got to finish off with saying this: be really careful about watching out for some of the scams and Ponzi's, and you need to look out. You know, you need to look out for that, because as I'm only saying that out of experience, because I've been contacting people, and they're trying to pitch you back into their own things as well. So there's a lot to watch out for. And I don't do any business with anybody unless I get on the phone. I get on the phone to them, and if they're not prepared to get on the phone to me, I leave it, because I want to talk to somebody. I want to make sure it's genuine. But I'm never tempted into any cryptocurrency deals. I'm not tempted into any funnels or anything like that unless I talk to them on the phone. So be really careful of that. There's a lot of, and do you know what? There's no alternative. You don't need to look for any alternatives, because you have the best network marketing company on the planet. Seriously. And I've been at a lot of things, and I've seen a lot of compensation plans. This is the best compensation plan you will ever see. So there's no way you should be tempted into any other deals that are out there. And I can tell you from experience, there's no way that you try to take on 2 companies at the same time, because you just won't succeed in both. And you just got to succeed in just one. Focus on one. Very, very important. So I think I've covered that, Derek. And I think you're going to talk about and ask questions about chapter 2. Is that right?
Well, actually, Bianca was, but she's got load shedding, unfortunately, in South Africa. So that means no electricity.
We'll have to do it.
We'll have to do it instead, yeah.
Okay.
No, okay, and we'll cover it again on Wednesday, maybe, if she wants to cover what she wanted to cover. But, you know, last week's was really, really good. I don't know if everyone read the chapter last week. It's worth sort of giving a quick overview on that. Renton, do you remember what last week's was about?
Yeah, I do. And it was about rejection from friends, family, etc. And, you know, the important thing is you've got to be single-minded and make a choice. And that is, you know, I covered this a couple of weeks ago with the train journey. And I think it's a good analogy of it. And it's very, very easy for you to push the stop button on the train because somebody said to you, one of your friends already said, oh, you know, don't bother doing something like that. You're going to be wasting your time. 90% of people fail in that. It's a scam, it's a Ponzi, it's a pyramid. You're going to get that. and I'm only being realistic, you will get that. We're used to it, and we've managed to build ourselves a barrier of rejection. We know how to handle it. For those of people who experience in network marketing, they can handle it. But those people who are not so experienced in network marketing find that hard to handle at the beginning. But you know, you just got to be determined and patient. And in my previous company, I was very successful in. I had 2,500 people in that team, and I got a lot of that. And what I've got to say is, this is a good example. I can tell you a story now. I started building the business. I got rejections and I got negatives and things like that. And I was working split shifts as a chef. I was working 6 days a week of split shifts. And the only time I could do presentations and talk to people was between 3 and 5. So, and plus I was Gordon Ramsay the first night of bad attitude. So I had to change and grow. But I could only present the business between 3 and 5 because I was doing splits. And I got lots of stick about what I was doing. And I decided, right, if I want to be serious about this, I'm going to have to change my job and do 9 to 5. So I changed my job totally out of my comfort zone in the way of careers. So I worked for Securicor for a while on the cleaning division. And I was the supervisor of the clean division. And the boss of the company, and I'd managed to reach 10,000 turnover per month in that company after 2 years. So I thought, if I'm serious, I'm going to change job. So after 2 years, I was what they call a direct, and I was turning over about 13 to 15,000 in products a year. And he said to me, he pulled me into the boardroom office, and he said to me, if you value your job, you're going to stop doing that business that you're doing. And I said to him, well, if you can give me a pay rise of £1,200 a month, then I'll consider it. And just that to me was a decision point, a turning point for me. I was being threatened with my job because I was doing business outside it in my personal time. And I thought, you haven't got the right to do that. So that was interesting. So I changed jobs when I was doing that in order to build our business, and it paid off because I made a very substantial income. So if you're busy, if you've got not got any time, and I've got somebody on the call tonight, Derek, not Derek Tallis, but Derek Francis, who works 20 hours a day in his architecture business, and is still building a fantastic organization already in a very short time. So time is an excuse, children's not an excuse. Make them your reason, not your excuse. So yeah, I'm pretty much.
Yeah, no, you covered a lot. Yeah, no, that was great. Also, something about rejection. This is important to understand, guys. You know, don't take things personally. You know, I remember a story once of a waitress in a cafe, and the waitress comes out, and you know, she's got a pot of tea for the people, and one of the persons says, well, actually, I don't want tea, I want coffee. Does the waitress go running into the kitchen crying because the guy asked for coffee? No, she just accepts it, goes into the kitchen, fetches a coffee. The analogy, or the reason why I'm saying that is that sometimes we overreact to things. I remember when I started driving, I used to react to other people's driving, and road rage wasn't the answer for me. It was worse than that. I was really awful. I used to overtake people, go in front of them, put my brakes on, all kinds of things to just get annoyed with other drivers. And I wasn't a good driver. So that was my bit Renton on the rage side. But I changed, and now I enjoy driving. It doesn't matter to me if there's a you know, queue of traffic. If I'm going to be late, if you're going to be late for an appointment, you know, what can you do about it? You can't do anything about it. The only person you hurt is yourself.
Yeah.
If somebody says something to you and you get upset, you're not hurting that other person by being upset, you're hurting yourself. So learn to react in a more positive way to what happens around you, to your environment, etc. I don't watch very much TV at the moment because there's a lot of negative stuff. But if you do, you know, analyze it with a different mindset. Don't go all, you know, depressed about everything that's going on there. It's life. At the end of the day, we're all living life, and life is happening around us, and things happen. I expect change on a regular basis. I don't actually go into my week, my month, thinking it's going to be the best month of my life. I go into it enjoying every bit of every present moment, and the future's what I plan for. But at the end of the day, we don't know when we're going to be called up. So just live your life the best you can at the present, and be in the present with people. Help people understand what we're doing. Help people understand that we're trying to help them, because that's the priority. If you put other people first, you'll find it a lot easier. So let me just read a few things out of the book. Okay, so rely on the credibility of your upline leader. This is important. If there are successful people in your upline, why would you try and talk about something you don't fully understand when you can actually point them in the direction of somebody who does? Especially younger people. Younger people, very, very difficult to get credibility. And by actually passing on to an upline older person, it gives them credibility. I remember a young person in Amway, in fact, and he lived in Essex. He was in my team, and he was only 18 when he came into Amway. He was a young lad. He was still at college, I think, and he was so motivated. But he tried to talk to people who are maybe relatives, etc., who are older, and he really struggled because they all laughed at him. Basically, he was so young, and then they didn't believe somebody so young could be so lucky to be in business. Anyway, he started introducing myself and my upline and people like that to him. And he actually built a very large organization and large team. And I remember him coming into one of the conference centers once with his team behind him. And it was great. There's youngsters in there, there's older people in there, but they're all following this 18-year-old. It was really, really great. And that's because he listened and learned what you need to do. Remember, you are in business for yourself, but you're never in business by yourself. That's very, very important. Because there's lots of leaders, lots of people here to help you. As a person's sponsor, prospects look to you as their mentor and leader. If you're feeling low self-esteem, study, listen, tapes, attend seminars, go to all these different things, come to these trainings. This is positive mindset. We have a 5 a.m. club as well that does positive stuff as well. So you can actually be amongst positive people. Sometimes you need that positive because people drain your energy. Try not to be around people who drain energy away from you. Try and be around people who actually give you energy or boost your energy. That's really, really important. As you grow personally, so will your network. Your networking business will grow with you. It's all in ratio, and people don't appreciate this. But as you self-develop, as you get better yourself, you'll notice your business grows as well. Building too slowly is discouraging and often results in networkers focusing on those who rejected their opportunity rather than those who accepted. So it's important to actually build with a bit of sense of urgency, really, because at the end of the day, most of you are in here for at least some of the money, if not all of it. And the way to do that is to help other people get what they want, so you get what you want. That's the important bit. The growth of your business will be in direct proportion to the number of people you are prospecting on a regular daily basis. This is so important. I know Renton regularly, every day, prospects at least 10 to 15 people, sometimes more. Network marketing is a numbers game. After the first 90 days of warm marketing, it becomes people business. Once distributors begin interacting with their sponsors to build their organization. In other words, you start interacting with the people in your team and the people they bring in. It's about the relationships you create with yourself and your team members. And it's important to treat everyone in your business with respect. So, and again, it's got in this chapter as well, rejection is not to be taken personally, but merely as an indication that the timing isn't right for those people. And that's important. We're not here to convince people. Remember that. We're not in the business of convincing, because once you've explained what we do and how we do it with regards to our training and not the actual Epic business as such in the beginning, then you should get a lot of people actually taking a lot of interest. Today I've had 5 phone calls which I talked to people just from the training point of view, And it's amazing how much interest was taken, because I wasn't talking about networking, I wasn't talking about a company. All I said about the company was that we partner with companies that give us the best return for our investment. And that's the key thing, and I do know they are. So the second topic I'll briefly cover, the second chapter, sorry, because we'll cover it more on Wednesday with Bianca, but I was just going to cover it from the point of view is, as you grow your business, it's easy to fall into management mode, and that's one thing you don't want to do. That's an easy thing to happen, where you start managing your people, managing your business, instead of doing what you did to get there in the first place. I will never stop talking to people, because people are the business. Regardless of how many people I've got in the team, I'm always talking to people. The other thing, also, quick tip, get your people, do it now as you bring them in, get them to phone you. Because imagine you've got 200, 400, 500, 600 people. Imagine if you had to phone all of them. And it's respectful as well for you to actually call your upline and not for them to call you. And if you treat your business like that, everyone will be respectful of your time too. And also remember, your upline's going to have a lot on their plate, because they've got a slightly bigger business than you in most cases. So do respect the time you spend with them and how much you ask of them, and start thinking about it from your point of view and what you're able to give as well. Because remember, you are at the top of your business, regardless of your upline being, in your business, because really everybody is in charge of their own business. At the moment you start taking charge of it, then it becomes truly yours, especially when you start doing presentations, even if it's one-on-ones. What makes our industry so much grander than traditional employment opportunities is the fact that we are compensated ethically and generously for our productivity. Understand that. So my biggest thing, and I always say this every single time, I look at what activities are productive, and I don't always do the rest. And sometimes I even forget the rest. I do only what is productive, and that's the important thing. If new associates want to earn more than the leader above them, they just need to be more productive. Recruit more active frontline people, distributors, and that way you grow bigger. So anyone can overtake anyone. And I believe there will be people in my organization and in our organization who do overtake me. I definitely believe that, because there are people out there who are hungrier and want more. Okay, babysitting your downline is not an effective way to build your business. If you have to babysit people too much, then what you need to do is actually start getting new people so you can concentrate on them as well. Because everyone can learn in this business, especially if you've got a proven track record and training system for them. Plug them into that training system, suggest what they need to do. And by the way, guys, Renton talks about this all the time. I've got a wealth of videos on my site. If you actually subscribe and actually listen to all the videos, including things like an interview with the CEO, and you'll understand where he's coming from. How many of you know the story of the CEO and what he's done and where he's come from? By knowing things like that, you can talk to people about it. You can actually bring up subjects that you didn't know, that most people won't necessarily know. It's important to get the information into your head so you can actually pass it on. Also, if there's relevant tapes, particularly in our training, you're going to need to know what training tape to pass to somebody. If somebody says, "Oh, look, I've got a problem with list building," then you can say, "Okay, I know a video that you can listen to." All of them are going to be in our back office, not back office, sorry, in our Facebook page, and also on my YouTube site. The key to successfully building a large dynamic organization is to steadily continue to prospect and recruit, creating a large organization. Don't make the mistake that results in nearly 50% of the failures in our industry, building your frontline for the first few months and then stopping people and managing people in your team. Don't do that, because people do that. They start managing as soon as they've got about 10 or 15 people, instead of actually carrying on doing the things that were productive. Set your sights on the goal, consistently meet the steps outlined in your business plan, and don't make excuses. Whatever it takes, just do it. It is that simple. If you're looking for extraordinary wealth, and that's what this is going to give you, a lot more than a job will, then you need to step outside your comfort zone. You need to do things that other people are not prepared to do. This is what makes you different. If you're doing stuff that other people are doing, then you're just going to get what other people get. Network marketing is a business of distributors building their own teams, teaching their people to duplicate that process. And what we're going to do with the training is allow you to have your people trained. And this is key. So a lot of the work is being taken away from you, where other organizations will not give the sort of training that we're giving. So we're actually saving a lot of time from you. If you plug the people in, you'll be successful by default, really. So I'd like to end there because Bianca's going to cover a bit more on Wednesday, where she can actually get into the nitty gritty and also perhaps, you know, get some interaction. But we've got about 5 or 10 minutes. If I'll release the mute button. So if anyone wants to say anything positive or whatever, say, you know, tell us what you're thinking of the training so far, please, because we do need to know if we're going along the right lines, or if there's something else that you want added, or, you know, or other things that are covering, and then we'll talk about more in more detail, please. So let us know your thoughts
on that chapter 2, Derek, which I read this afternoon.
Yeah,
I kind of reflected on the management mode thing. And what I used to do was tidy the office and straighten up the tapes and the books on the shelves that I had built, you know, and look at the team drawing, look at the list. But I thought that was productive. That sort of isn't productive. So if you've got a list and you're just staring at it, get on the phone. You know, these are the sort of things where you think are productive, and you're actually not implementing it. And the key thing is, most millionaires, this is something I picked up off the book of the second page, most MLM millionaires have had the least help.
Yes,
that's what I noticed.
They're the ones who've taken charge. Yeah,
But
exactly.
most
Yes,
MLM failures. Most people that failed in them have moaned and complained about everything and blamed themselves. I picked that one out there as well. And I picked up also what I remembered from that, and that's the 3 C's. Never criticize, never condemn, and never compare. I'm going to give other people time to say something now. Like Colin.
Okay.
Colin's an experienced networker.
I think Jamie's unmuted himself.
Jamie
first.
as well, yeah.
Yeah. What would you like to say, Jamie?
Yeah, no, I was just going to sort of comment. Funny enough, Brenton's actually sort of saying some stuff I was going to say. One of the things I find different from the previous networking, like I said, all the tape, CDs, books, and all these, I'm talking here someone who's quite severely dyslexic and has struggled with my reading and writing severely. Having these online presentations like this regularly, the training on here, is so much easier, so much easier. I mean, it took me basically nearly a week to read the first page of that book. Right. The online one. That's all I got so far. Having it talked on here, I memorize everything, and the difference of this is incredible for us. So it helps me so much more, and I can see that can be a big springboard into launching a lot faster into the business as well.
Brilliant. That's good to hear. Yeah, thank you very much for that, Jamie.
Thanks.
Colin.
Hiya. Yes, I was just about to say that. Just reiterating what Derek Brenton mentioned earlier on, in that managing people. I mean, I remember in our previous business, I went quite wide, but then it all started kind of getting a bit falling apart. I lost most of my list, or I rebuilt my list, which is a very important thing to do. Like you say, keep the list building. Once you've developed a knack of being able to talk to people, if you can just say hello, you've got a never-ending list, haven't you? Simple as that. But on the rejection side of things, on the management side of things, more than that, I ended up. I went so deep into one league, I didn't even know who had sponsored them. It was me who started, and I was running around down there, and all the rest of them kind of never saw or heard of me. So definitely don't want to do that. I mean, I've got my daughter's interested, but she's been around networking before herself, and she. I would definitely not be managing her. Yeah, management's one of the things that can just kill you. It can kill your business dead, absolutely. And so you've got to give people free rein to grow at whatever speed they want to grow at, and that simple as that. But going back to the original part of actually what you said earlier about the list building. It's so important. I mean, I've got a, so I've got very lists. As I said, with Derek on bits of paper, scribbled on all sorts of.
Right.
Just make sure you keep contacting people every day, speaking to people every day. But the training on here, even I've been around it a very little while, just not even a week yet, and already I've seen the potential of what's going on here. This is definitely the best training I've seen anywhere. No question.
Thank you. And we're just beginning, Colin. Just beginning.
Yeah.
So no, thank you very much for that. Good. I'm looking forward to helping people and developing the training as well, because myself, I joined many companies where I had to train myself. I had to work myself. A lot of the leaders just literally recruited you and you never saw them again.
Yeah.
And basically you had to do it for yourself. So having been through all that, I realized how important it is, and that's why we're leading with the training. And I actually spoke to Tom, who's coming on the training on Saturday. And I told him what we were doing, and this guy's a multimillionaire. He's built many businesses. I was actually responsible for bringing one of his companies to the UK. That company's been bought out now. It's called It Works. You'll see it's in the top 10 network marketing companies in the world. And Tom sold that business off. And the thing I'd like to say about that is that he came into this industry a long time ago. 40, 50 years he's been in this industry. He didn't sponsor somebody for 2 years when he first came into it. And then he ended up owning some of the biggest companies in the world. He used to have his own private jet and everything. He's got houses all over the world where he goes on holiday. But I mentioned to him what we're doing in terms of the training first and then the company. And he said that's a really smart idea, because you're going to actually outlive any company. If a company goes under, you just move your whole team. And that's the good thing about what we're doing, because we're going to work as one unit, one team, working together. And together everyone achieves more. And the more we work with each other, the closer we'll become. The more relationships that will be built within this team, and that's what I want to encourage. So when we do the calls with Bianca on the Wednesday, on the Friday, etc., and we do the chapters, I want more interaction, guys. And I will be opening up my our videos as well. I know I haven't today. That's because I'm disheveled today for some reason. So I didn't. That's the only reason. So really this is it. And anything you want to add? Anyone else? Anyone want to ask any questions? Please go ahead. Don't be shy. We're going to be knowing each other for a long time now. We're building together. You might as well get something out. Don't keep inside you something that you could have regretted saying earlier on.
I'm just going to
even tell us what you're thinking of the training, because we need to know from you guys if you think it's okay, if it's going in the direction you want to.
I've got to see how proud I am of Derek's efforts and hard work he's putting into this, because in the background, as we're all building our businesses, Derek is putting together such an incredible training system here for us. And I just want to show our appreciation for that. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, anyone else, any comments before we close down for the evening?
What about Marina from Holland?
Myrna, okay. Myrna, do you want to say anything?
Myrna.
No, I'm fine. I'm just listening right now.
Okay, great. All right, brilliant. Okay, so
Javier
usually has something to say.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Well, no. Everything is said and done. I think we are on the same track. What Jamie added about the training and being able to do it even when he could be considered someone with a situation, right? I don't want to call it a disability, but it's just a simple, different kind of. I also got kind of same things. I missed my words and I misspell stuff. I used to say I was kind of dyslexic myself. I just got diagnosed a couple of years ago with just something that has to do with my brain goes too fast, my hands cannot move as fast, or my mouth, and that's what gives me problems. It's just, right. Yeah, brain can go like really, really fast, the speed of thought. And with that, yeah, no, we're in the greatest team. I'm always with my with my sports analysis, sports comparisons, and this cannot be better, and this cannot be a better time to do this sort of building yourself, build your own along the way with what Derek's doing, what Peter's doing, what Renton is doing, because we can leverage that experience just as being said, right? And this is true for whoever had tried to start something. You don't start in a vacuum, right? For example, I like motorsports, and if you want to go in Formula One or whatever, you need to learn about the automobiles and the engines, the tires, and all the things that go around that, but also about your state of mind, nutrition, and health. It's really odd, but a pilot loses about 10 to 20 pounds per race, so they need to eat up, and they actually lose all that weight while they're driving in the races. So it's very interesting. What I just want to say is take everything into account and use all these precious volumes, these precious experiences we have around, leverage that for your own good. That's the best thing to do.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you. Okay, so guys, yeah, good night for tonight. Speak to your uplines if you need any information on what you're doing at the moment, where you are, etc. On Wednesday, we'll be covering the invite to the presentation. So that'll be covered on Wednesday. And every week we'll be covering various things, plus obviously the book of the month. I've got a few book of the months as well from Tom Schreiter, which will be really, really good. Once you see the Saturday training, you'll want to get some of his books, and they're very, very cheap as well. He does sell his stuff exceedingly cheap. Plus, he actually on the website, if you go to the Telegram, I've given you the website, you'll get a lot of free stuff as well, which is really jewels. You know, the sort of stuff is current stuff as well. You know, things you can say that's current as opposed to, you know, some of the older things that we used to do for talking. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. I've recorded this. As soon as I've downloaded it, I'll put it onto my YouTube site and I'll put it into the Telegram group so you can watch it again, because sometimes when you look over something again, you pick up more information. So good night, everyone, and speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.